As everybody knows that every woman goes through huge changes after giving birth, like physical changes, psychological changes, lifestyle changes, etc. But sometimes the life prepares us really unexpected cause and effect relationships that we can't even imagine. And today I'm gonna tell you a story, a strange and quite complicated story that happened to me after giving birth. So, before giving birth, for about 10 years, I used to go to one dentist and I really liked him because he did all the procedures easily and without any problems. And just before my pregnancy, he had removed one of my wisdom teeth. But after birth of my baby girl, again I had problems with my second wisdom tooth. And this time I couldn't go to my dentist because after getting married, I moved to another side of the city, which was quite far from the dentistry. A lot of traffic, and I couldn't leave my baby girl with my husband for a long time. Hi to all mommies who are in the same situation. So I decided to go to a new dentistry which was close to my apartment. I came to the dentist, we did an x-ray of my wisdom tooth. It was inflamed and he said that it needs to be pulled out. I said okay, and he began giving anesthesia. As you know, in normal, 2 or 3 syringes of anesthesia needed in order to remove the wisdom tooth. He did some injections with first syringe into several places around the tooth and sent me to wait for about 15 minutes until the anesthesia began to take effect. After 15 minutes, when he came back, I felt pain when he touched my tooth. And he's like, okay, let's do some more anesthesia. He filled the second syringe, did some injections again sent me to wait. After came back and checked, and I still felt pain. Again injection, waited, checked, and it was still paining. And after injecting 2.5 syringe of anesthesia, he began wondering like, what's happening? It's strange that after 2.5 syringe of anesthesia, you're still feeling pain. And I was wondering too. And also I began feeling some kind of mistrust to him because I went to him for the first time and maybe he's not qualified enough. And I said to him, I'm sorry, let me go to my previous dentist because he had removed one of my wisdom tooth and we hadn't had any problems with this. He was actually happy and said, okay, no problem, you can go. After 2 or 3 days, I went to my previous dentist. I told him the story, what happened with my new dentist, and he's like, okay, no problem, we will do it easily. It will not take even an hour to remove your wisdom tooth. And I'm like, okay. And I was thinking, why I went to the first dentistry? I wasted my time. I should have to go right here. And he began doing injections of anesthesia into several places, like in first time. We waited for 15 minutes and he checked and I was feeling pain. After he filled the second syringe, injected, I felt pain. Third syringe, waited, checked, again pain. And he's like, is it really paining or it seems like paining? Because there are differences, it's important to know. Maybe you are just scared and it seems like pain. And I'm like, no, it's really paining. I even feel which corner of the tooth is paining. It feels like as if something's stretching in the tooth when you try to pull it. He said, okay, let's do more anesthesia. And he injected the fourth syringe. The result was the same. 4.5, everything was the same. It was paining. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And the dentist like, okay, let me call the senior doctor. The senior doctor came and he checked my tooth carefully. Then please guess what he did? Yes, he just continued injecting the anesthesia like in all directions. And I was lying and thinking, oh my god, after which syringe I will die. Yes, now I'm laughing, but at that time I was almost crying. I was so stressed. I asked the doc, how many syringes can be injected at one time? He said 10. And after injecting the 6.5 syringe, and after 4 hours of torture, he asked me for the last time, how is it now? And I was feeling the pain, still feeling the pain. The doc said, there is no point to continue injecting anesthesia if nothing changed even after 6.5 syringe. You have to remove your wisdom tooth under the general anesthesia. And I was shocked. I'm like, we will remove one tooth with the whole general anesthesia? Don't we have any other way? He's like, no, unfortunately we don't have any other way. The local anesthesia doesn't work That's why we have to use the general anesthesia. He wrote me a huge list of tests needed to be taken and said, please take all these tests and call me back when you will get all the results, and we will set the date and time of the operation. I took the list, went out from the dentistry and began crying. I have visited 2 dentistries, got so many anesthesia and couldn't remove my tooth, and now I have to get the general anesthesia. I have never had it and I didn't want to have it at all because I know about all the toxic effect, about the risks, etc. It was on Friday evening and I came home after dentistry and sadly told about everything to my husband. And he's like, but if you don't have any other way, you should accept the general anesthesia. But then I remembered that one of his friends is a dentist and he called his dentist friend for some consultation, like what we can do in this situation. And his friend said that it is very risky to accept the general anesthesia in dentistry because the only high qualified anesthesiologist resuscitator can do the correct general anesthesia, and if the doctor is not qualified enough, he can do the wrong dose and it may end badly. And he said us, if you want, you can come to me on Monday and I will do the local anesthesia in the right way because maybe the previous dentist did it like incorrectly. And we said, okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. But honestly, I really didn't want to go to the 3rd dentistry because I guess that the story will repeat and I was so nervous. So the Friday passed, Saturday passed too. On Sunday evening, I remembered my friend who used to go to the dentist really often, and she told me that her dentist is really good, and I decided to call her dentist for some consultation. But when I told him my case, he said that unfortunately we don't treat the lower wisdom teeth because the lower ones are more complicated than the upper one, and he advised me to go to the maxillofacial surgery. I called to the maxillofacial surgery. And they said, okay, we can help you. What day should we sign you up for? I said, can I come today on Sunday? And they said, yeah, we work 24/7. I said, okay, I'll be an hour. And I was a little bit happy because there was a hope. And at that time, I decided to get some more information about the maxillofacial surgery in Google. And I found their Instagram, searched for their doctors. And you know what? Among these dentists, I saw that senior doctor from the 2nd dentistry who was going to do the general anesthesia for me and gave me the list of tests. And I'm like, oh my god. I was so disappointed because I thought that maxillofacial surgery must be too different from the ordinary dentistry with a higher level. But I see the same doctor there. And there was also written that the work experience of that senior doctor is 9 years old and it is long enough. But I said to myself, don't give up, Sharapat. Stay positive. So I came to the maxillofacial surgery. One assistant met me and began checking my tooth. And after him, the doctor came too. And the doctor was different, not from the 2nd dentistry. I told both of them about everything. And the doctor said, don't worry. We don't need to do the general anesthesia. We will do all the necessary. And you will not leave from here with your wisdom tooth. And I'm like, okay. I asked the doctor, why all this hell is happening to me? Why I always feel the pain? And what's interesting that I feel the numbness on my lips, on my jaw, on the some parts of my gum, but I feel the pain in my wisdom tooth. And he said that the lower wisdom teeth are more complicated than the upper ones, and injecting anesthesia on the lower wisdom teeth is also difficult because of the complicated anatomy and the thick structure of bones. And also some patients have additional sensitive nerve near the lower wisdom tooth. And when the doctor does the anesthesia in an ordinary way, the additional nerves stay sensitive and continue to pain. And he said like, I will do all the injections you need and we will see the result. I'm like, okay, let's begin. So they began the process. Like, I stopped counting the syringes because I was already mentally tired. It was like, waiting, pains, okay, and injected so many times with different types of tools, different types of needles. And then his assistant brought a bigger syringe and the doctor said, please turn around, we will give you an intramuscular injection. I'm like, okay. And they injected me on my butt. And then assistant brought me a medicine and I'm like, what is it? The doctor said, anesthesia, please take it. And I took the medicine too. Right after I got the injection on my butt and swallowed the medicine, I began feeling myself awfully. Firstly, it became really noisy in my ears and dizziness after my heart began beating very strong. And it seemed like it is beating not inside but here in front of my eyes. And I was and doctor said, it is noisy in your ears and strong heartbeat, right? I'm like, He's like, it's okay, it will pass now. And it passed after like 5 minutes. Doctor's like, are you okay now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And doctor said, now you are ready for removing your wisdom tooth. It may be a little bit painful, just a little bit, but you should endure. I'm like, oh my god, okay. I was so scared. And when they just began removing, I'm like, stop. You can leave it as is. They're like, no, don't worry. It's gonna be okay. And I'm like, will it pain after removing? They're like, no tooth, no pain, no problem. And I'm like, okay. And then 1, 2, 3, shoo. And my wisdom tooth was finally pulled out. Doctor's like, finished, you see? It is removed. And I'm like, oh my god, is it real? Is it really happening? Finally, we pulled out my tooth? Oh my god, am I dreaming? Like, thank you so much, thank you. And the doctor's like, welcome. You see, I told you that you will not leave us with your wisdom tooth. We'll remove it anyway, you see? Then I asked the doctor, why this hell happened to me? Is the reason an additional nerve or what? And he said that the first reason may be that additional nerve near your wisdom tooth, which we're trying to numb. And the second reason may be, have you ever got anesthesia on your spine? I'm like, you mean epidural? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, I got it during my birth. That can be a reason. I was shocked. I'm like, what? Epidural and my wisdom tooth? And he's like, yeah, you were very resistant to anesthesia and this can be a reason. It's very rare, but epidural anesthesia may affect your further sensitivity to anesthesia. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't expect. And he's like, the third reason maybe, you said that you are breastfeeding, right? And I'm like, yes, I'm breastfeeding my baby girl. He said, this also can be a reason because during breastfeeding, the hormone levels change greatly and it also can change your sensitivity to anesthesia. And I'm like, doctor, I'm shocked. And I went home crying, but this time because of the happiness. The name of the doctor was Mr. McCabe, and I noticed that his work experience in dentistry is only 3 years, but he and his assistant Mr. Islam were so professional, high qualified, and very kind. So in conclusion, I want to say that why I told you this long and complicated story with a lot of emotional swings, because I got many important points from this story and I decided to share them with you guys. So point number 1 is, how many people on this planet knew that epidural anesthesia may affect your further sensitivity to anesthesia? And to remove your wisdom teeth, now you know, and please take it to consideration, especially women. Point number 2, the same with breastfeeding. Just imagine, where is the anesthesia and where is the breastfeeding? But we see that there is a connection. And point number 3, if you have problems with your wisdom teeth, similar with mine, you should straight go to the maxillofacial surgery or the similar institution in your city. Don't go to the 2nd, 3rd, 10th and 100th ordinary dentistry. Otherwise, you will spend many times more money, time, energy, nerves, and you will get many times more anesthesia as me, which is very harmful to your body. And you will also spend your husband's time, and your little baby will be waiting for you for a long time if you are a young mommy as me. And by the way, if you got the epidural anesthesia before and now you need some surgery, please don't be afraid, because my case is rare and epidural anesthesia doesn't affect like this every time. But even if you are in the same situation, don't be scared. Just go to the right specialist and everything's gonna be alright. So guys, I'm Sharapat and I wish you to be healthy and stay cozy. Please like my video if you liked, and don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with my useful, interesting and cozy things. Bye bye!